All right, and we are live. So this is episode 3 of the Froz-Øne podcast. We are here with a good friend and special guest of mine, Miles Simon. Miles, how you doing, man?
Doing good, bro. How about you?
Not too bad, man. Just practice, schoolwork, and doing stuff like this on the side, man. Doing stuff like this on the side.
You know,
Um,
yeah, good little schedule.
but yeah, I hear that. For the people that may or may not know who you is, can you just kind of give us a rundown
Mhm.
of some of the stuff that you've done throughout your career?
Yeah, so my name is Miles Simon. I am a second year graduate student right now at the University of Georgia. Swimmer, sprint freestyler. I spent my first 4 years at Howard University. It's HBCU up here in DC, and then I took a fifth year and transferred to Georgia for my last year in the NCAA and spent a year with them, trained with them for trials. Two-time Olympic trialist, went to NCs, and just been swimming, continue still swimming it right now. So, that's a little bit about me.
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna say it's been about what a year and a half. We've been racing in the SEC and at Olympic trials. Speaking of which, what you been up to since Olympic trials? I was gonna say it's been a minute since we talked.
Bro, I ain't been up to. I mean, like now I'm in a like routine. I'm busy, but like after trials, bro, I took a break. I ain't do nothing. Like I like
Yeah,
the
I hear you.
I got done with that 50. I was like, yeah, I'm done. But like not in a bad way. Like I like the race. I had fun, but I was just like,
Totally.
I can finally chill. Like there's no like serious competition weighing on me. But actually, that not race, but that like competition was like, oh shoot, like that's the whole reason I took the fifth year. So I was like, it was like
Mhm.
something that was on the back of my mind all year. But I mean, I took a break, went back home, worked a little bit, uh, taught lessons, did stuff on the side, and then I came back in August, and I started working in the Olympic sports weight room, and I'm like an intern in there for UGA. I work with track, soccer, and the dance team there, and just helping out, like assisting on the side. Uh, and I'm currently right now training with UGA, and as a pro, but I'm just training for US Open in December because I mean I'm there. I'm not really like ready to give it up totally, especially like with me still being in like the college setting. Like I don't mind continuing like swimming. I have the cut, so I don't mind going.
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna say, run it back a little bit because I'm a kinesiology major, so like I get a little geeky when I hear
Mhm.
people talking about like the weight room stuff. What sort of stuff do you do in that weight room? Just as like a strength training.
So like I mean, a lot of it is just like literally helping out the coaches with their programming, but like they already
Right.
have the program stuff, and then they kind of talk to you about the things that they're doing to help the athletes. Like I work with track, so we do a lot of like plyos, cleans, a lot of explosive movements. Like they clean every time they're in there, or do clean or some type of Olympic lift. That's probably a big thing I do. I work with a lot of them, like helping with their form, their technique. Uh, learning why they're doing the movement, helping them find the right weights to get to train with, and just keep them at just literally like make sure they're lifting heavy and correct. So yeah, and I'm getting my master's in kinesiology, so that's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Sweet. I was
Mhm.
gonna say, I do have a question because this is very controversial in the athletic realm. Deadlifts and RDLs. Are you for or against it?
I'm for deadlifts. I'm for trap bar deadlifts. RDLs,
Okay.
I'm most definitely for because you need your hamstrings,
Okay.
especially if you swim or run. Like you need
For
your
sure.
hamstrings, so you have to
Sure.
do RDLs. But
See,
like,
I'm a little I was gonna say I'm a little bit on the actually I take that back. Trap bar deadlift,
yeah,
100%
that's what I
support.
was about to say.
RDLs and deadlift, I'm a little bit hesitant on.
Yeah.
Especially with swimmers having low back injuries. I have a lot of teammates have low back injuries, so those you got to be real careful, especially with barbell RDLs with them.
Mhm.
But I agree that the hamstring, being able to have the both quad and hamstring for underwaters is so
Yeah.
important in swim. But no, I was gonna say I was wondering if what you were gonna say on that because it's so controversial in
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
kinesiology.
I'm all for trap bar deadlifts. Like that's fine. Like that's the athletic version of deadlifts. But straight
Complete.
barbell deadlifts, like nah, that's more powerlifting than anything. Hmm.
For sure, totally. Yeah, but no. Glad to hear that you're doing everything good over there. Pro group, it sounds like you guys are starting to pick it up a little bit, getting ready for US Open. I
Mm-hmm.
was hoping to go, but I think we may be on our team training trip
Mm.
around the time. Yeah, I think US Open literally starts the day that we leave. So I highly doubt that I'll be there. But if not, I may or may not see you. We'll see.
Where do y'all
But
go for y'all mid seasons? Like, who do y'all go to?
we're going to Georgia.
Y'all come here? Oh, that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be in Athens. Yeah, I'll be in Athens in November.
where'd y'all go last year?
We went to Tennessee. I was
Mm.
gonna say I didn't get to go last year because I was injured, but we went to Tennessee last year
Okay, gotcha.
because I had that foot injury.
Mm.
Yeah, it's doing some dumb stuff, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
um, but nah, keep this train rolling. You in the pro group. I got my stuff. Both sprinter. I was gonna say before you even started the recording, I saw you wearing that Brett Hawk Sprint Revolution.
I
I was
got
gonna
this from
say,
Miles. Yeah, he just gave me a shirt.
oh really?
Hmm.
I was gonna say because you was on his podcast at Olympic Trials, right?
Yeah, it was crazy. I was walking. We were walking.
Yeah.
Me and my girlfriend were there. We were walking around the the aqua zone, and somebody stopped me, and he was there like, "Hey, you swam here?" Because I had the credential, because that's how you get in everywhere. And
Right.
I was like, yeah. And you know, like, you swim for Georgia. I was like, yeah. Do you want to be on the podcast? And I looked to my left, and it's Brett Hawk, and I think the swim guy. I can't remember the guy who he be with.
I know
And
who you're talking about.
yeah, and I'm like, oh shoot, and like yeah. So yeah, it was a good quick little interview. I think he was just like pulling people, walking around, asking to hop on. So it was cool. He a cool dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've been on like Instagram with him a couple times, talked, and then I got on his podcast. Yeah, I really mess with him. He a cool dude, and his philosophies. I
Oh yeah.
mean, some of them are like very extreme, but at the same time, you need that extreme to like trickle down into other people. So I really mess with that.
Hmm.
Uh, but sprinter on sprinter, I always like to ask, because currently I have not had a non-sprinter on here. So, what sort of like training have you done to kind of progress? Because we're both within the 22 mid-range long course. SECs, you went what, 19.5?
Yeah.
19. Yeah, I was gonna say. So I mean, pretty pretty fast. There's gonna probably be a lot of younger kids uh that always want to hear how to improve their sprint game. What sort of stuff have you been doing to like kind of improve that?
Well, as of recently, it's been more about details. Like, I mean,
Mhm.
I personally, and I feel like a lot of people are gonna be crazy for saying this. I don't think going 19 is like that hard. Like, if you have the strength and the swim behind it, you could flip it 9 and touch it 10. But uh, it gets into details. Like underwaters is a big thing. Like I didn't have crazy underwaters my freshman year at Howard, but then there's a guy on my team. Howard is like D1 mid major, so like there was a guy on my team, like he was like probably barely going 5,300 fly, and then I still used to see him like hit his socks and like during warm up or like after practice, and he basically did a underwater 100 fly, but like he went 50 point, and it was like, what, like how'd you drop 3 seconds in a 100 fly and you were barely going 53 like a week ago? But I started realizing that, started doing that more underwater. He'll like I do a lot of resistance with underwaters, and then I like really work on breakouts. And I haven't gotten the best at it, but like I've been working on like setting up my turn right and coming off the wall with a good breakout. It's just really just underwater turn and breakout for that 50. So I feel like if anybody's like looking to really get into that 19 range, it's just underwaters, breakouts, making sure you're clean, explosive. And I feel like getting to 19 the easy part. It's trying to get to that 19 low is the hard part.
Mhm. Totally. I was gonna say you can raw dog, no Diddy.
Mhm.
But you could
Really.
current situation can't be saying that right now.
Yeah,
But nah, you could swim a 19 being raw in no form, but I
yeah,
totally agree. Like getting to that 19 lows, ones, hell, even 18s like that takes like another level of finesse, another level of details that people don't even think about. But Yeah, I totally agree. I was gonna say you were at Howard, you were at Georgia, at both of those. I want to get to the culture stuff later, but just right now in pure swimming, what would you say was your favorite sprint set at Howard compared to your favorite sprint set at Georgia?
Mm. I didn't start really doing sprint for real until my senior year. Funny enough, I was in
Okay.
distance because I had mid distance, but distance.
Okay.
Like it was labeled
Right.
distance, but it was mid distance. But like I was doing like my junior year, especially after I made trials the first time, I was doing like a lot of like middle distance work. And because I still swam a 200, I still swam a 2 IM, I still swam a two back because like I was needed for those
Okay.
events. So I was still in mid distance, but I would do sprint work. But my senior year, I just did sprint group mainly because I was like trying to like I was getting close to an Olympic year, and then also I was trying to see if I can qualify for NCs that year. So I was just only doing sprint work, and my best, I want to say the best set, it was like a lactate set, and it was two efforts on the towers, but like back then we went the whole way, like we did the whole 25 on the towers, and they were heavy.
25.
Yeah, but I was used to that because my club coach, he used to make me do tower work all the time. So we would do two efforts on tower, heavy, all out, and then we got up and did 100 off the block. And I think we did that three times, and that was probably my favorite set because it was just like it was hard, but like it was a good work type of hard. Like like
Yeah.
you didn't feel the best. Like you're filled with lactate. I think that was the first time ever like it was a lactate set. I almost threw up in practice because it's like actual lactate set. Like I really
That's
couldn't.
that's how you know it's hard.
Yeah, like, but that was probably my favorite set there. And then Georgia, I've had some pretty fun sprint sets. Like I can't really like it's hard to choose one. I mean, we we do a good. There's this power set that we would do, and it's just like it's like a breakout. It's like a six underwater dolphin kick, and three cycles breakout on the towers, and then we would do uh that's sort of fins and paddles, or like with socks, or we'll do something with do the same thing with socks and paddles, and then we'll do like two 25s on like 3 minutes, just all out, trying to go as fast as you can, and that's fun because like yeah, you have fins and paddles and stuff, and you feel like you killing it, but like they didn't really teach you about details because like yeah, like you might be going like 8.5, 8.6, but to get into that 8.1, 8.2 range, or even 7.9, like you have to work the breakout, make sure your first three strokes are clean. Like you have to really work that transition into dolphin kick. You got to work your finish. So I like that set because that, even though it seems simple, you're really working details because it's a 25 and you're over speeding the hell out of it. So yeah, and then
Yeah.
we did a set. It's funny because I actually talked to my coaches right after we did this set, and they were like, "Yeah, we could tell we kind of made the set for you. It's a set, and it was like two, or maybe it might have been four, but it was like rounds of 825s off the block on like 3 minutes, and they went, first round was with fins, and then another round with like no fins and fins with no fins, but it was just like 25s in 3 minutes, just all out which you can go, and I was just like it was fun because it's like I had a good start, I have a good breakout, so it was just me really practicing those two things and having a good finish. So
Totally.
yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna
Hmm.
say I love the difference in transition. I was gonna say your Howard set
Hmm.
really reminded me of like my high school club and like first year college because it's funny that you said that lactate buffering set because it reminds me of a set I had. So every Thursday, when I was training with Ozzy Quevedo, he's at SMU now, but
Yeah.
he would have a set. It was oh yeah, I forgot you got recruited by Ozzy. I remember that. Totally forgot about that. It was 425s on 25, 100 rhythm, um, right into 100 off the block. You had like 30 to 45 seconds to get up on the block, and it was 100 all out, and it was like lactate buffering. That was by far probably one of the hardest like 100 sets I've had.
Mm.
But sprint wise, I've really been enjoying this one that we've been doing past couple weeks. It's extremely hard efficiency wise, but Um, completely love it. Uh, I think it was Coach Mike that brought this up. He's a genius when it comes to sprinting a little bit.
Mhm.
It was so he goes right now we're at I think it was 3 rounds of 4 towers to the fourth line. It was heavyweight. Um, so I was doing like 4 kicks, 2.5, 3 cycles to get to 4 lines. And then you take off the tower, put on fins, and you go a 50 where it's we've been building up. So the first week we did it, it was 4 kicks. No. Yeah, it was 4 kicks, 3 cycles. No, I take that back. The first time it was 3 kicks, 3 cycles.
Yeah.
Second week we did it, it was 4 weeks, 3 cycles. And the last week it was 5 kicks, 3 cycles. So we've been building it up, and it's really like trying to keep it elongated but fast. So some of us, he's trying to get us to get as close to sub 20 as possible. So I think last Monday I was 19.7s, 19.8s on
Mhm.
those, which is it doesn't sound hard when it you think of like a 50 with fins, but
Yeah.
when you restrict yourself to only 6 strokes, that you're really elongating yourself, and it's like crazy hard. But
Yeah.
then after that, take off the fins, um, 25 from a push, try to get sub 10, and then after that, kick on the wall, 5 seconds hard, head down,
Mm.
flip into a all out 15,
Okay.
and that would be 1 round. So 3 rounds of that, and we would have lift before that, so I'm already cooked.
Yeah.
And then you go into that, and it's
Well, that
just
makes
like,
sense. Like a little. That's like power speed after weights.
oh yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, but we do stuff like that every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I mean, I just love it.
Yeah.
Sprint group here, it's very non-traditional, but it gets you going. It's fun, but it works you. Like
Mhm.
um, Saturday, we had a set. It doesn't sound like a lot, but I was damn near about to throw up. It was 3 rounds of 2 100s kick and a set of 50s. The hundreds kick went one easy, one all out on 3. And then the first round was 350s on 2, 100 pace. So I was having to be like 22 lows.
Yeah.
And then the second round was 250s on 130. And the last round was 150,
Mhm.
all out, all from a push. Um, that set had me on the ground after. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
That
That's
set had me on the ground.
a lot of kicks. A lot of kicks.
Oh,
Kicking.
yeah. The kick
Yeah.
was like, and I had to be, it was like sub 110 on all the fast kicks, which I was like 105, and then died, went like 108, 112
Yeah.
on
I
the
mean.
other two. So
Mhm.
it was insane. But I mean, it definitely sounds like there's some similarities in that
Yeah.
training. I really like that one set that you said, the 3 rounds of 8 25s.
Yeah. I mean, we did that more toward January, February, like getting close to SECs. It's not something I would do like right now. I mean, I don't think
Mm.
so. Probably like later, maybe November before I go. But it won't be nothing like, yeah, it's only like sets where we're kind of getting working details and training.
Totally.
Hmm.
Totally. No, I'll rock with that. Um, I don't want to switch gears real quick. Keep it still with the colleges though. You know, been talking about the training at those places, but the environment. You spent 4 years at Howard, which for those who don't know is probably the biggest HBCU out there.
Yeah.
The the original HBCU, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
But I don't want to say that. I don't think
Yeah,
so.
not the original,
Not the
but
original, but like it's one. It was one of the first. Like it's the
it was one of the first.
yeah. It's the college that started like all the like the black fraternities, so like AKAs,
Yes. Yeah.
all the divine.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The Q dogs and all that. I was gonna say my half bro Q dog, so I know all about that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but just kind of like the environment, because a lot of people know, or at least think they know about the PWI
Mm-hmm.
environment at swimming. How does that differ? Because you've seen both. What is the HBCU team environment contrast to a PWI?
I mean, it's honestly just like the like you talking about in terms of swimming or just in terms of like the environment.
Both like both just like swimming, like
Mhm.
how are people as dedicated or even more dedicated? Or is it just like kind of a like and like the environment, like what type of stuff do you see at a HBCU that you won't see at a PWI and vice versa?
I mean, that HBCU, like I'm not. I want to say it's more party-ish, more event type lifestyle things, but like I would say that like there's a lot of days where I mean I was throwing on a fit just to walk around campus, like because like I mean I'm not gonna go out there looking crazy, but then there are some
Right.
days, yeah, and then there's days like practice could have been like I this probably explain like there's days the practice could have been hard, you could have failed a test, the calf could have been closed, something happened to your dorm room, something like there's some type of BS could have happened to you, but you could walk out on a yard and like just forget all about it because like it just vibes like people out there talking. There's little pop up shops going on, well, not pop up shop, but a little talk. Somebody's having some type of event on the yard. I remember one time my two of my teammates was walking to class and they saw Nick Cannon like just there going to class. Yeah, like celebrities kind of just pull up out of nowhere. Like it's lively. Like it's a lot of culture there. I'll say that. Like the Caribbean culture at Howard is probably one of the biggest I think I've seen in the states, especially at a HBCU. Um,
Yeah.
like it's that's what they kind of call it the Mecca because it's like you meet a whole bunch of like different types of like different views and different cultures. So in terms of this like culture and lifestyle, like I would say that's like a big difference between PWIs because I mean it's for Black people. I mean like you'll see different type of Black people at PWIs, but I mean it's called a PWI for a reason. But that's if that. And then when I went to a PWI, it wasn't really nothing. I wouldn't say it was a big culture shock because I mean I've been swimming this whole time. I have been going to like all Black, I think I told this to an interviewer a while ago. My come up in swimming, I was on an all Black club team. Like my coach was Black.
Really?
Yeah, my coach was Black.
Okay.
By the name of Tommy Jackson. Like he was Black. Most of my teammates were Black. I went to all Black high school. Like I'm from Atlanta, and like I went to a predominantly Black city. Uh, then I went to an HBCU that was that was all Black, but and then the swim team again was all Black. So like I mean it was just that was probably the first time I was at like a predominantly white space. But like me being like being a swimmer and then going to trials and stuff like that, like I understood. So it wasn't too big of a culture shock. Like I mean I think the biggest thing for me was more of the like the culture in the white culture in Georgia because it's more of a southern white school. Like if I went to like a
Mhm.
school up here in the city, don't think I would have been. It wouldn't have been that big of a shock in that type of culture. But because I feel like I went to a more Power Five SEC um, football school, like the culture was just probably a tad bit different for me. But honestly, I still liked it though. Like I mean, I
Yeah.
I actually I mean my first semester it took me a good bit to adjust to like the things they do hanging out and stuff like I'm a big city guy because I'm from Atlanta and I went to school in DC, so like I'm used to walking everywhere, just everything being so close and niche. And I think my first when I realized when I really went to Georgia and I spent like my first month there, I was like dang, like you can't just get up and walk anywhere. Like things are far. Like it's a lot of land and things like that. And also like UGA is in Athens, and honestly, like Athens is UGA. Like there's nothing else in Athens other than UGA to me. So it was probably that type of stuff. Like it's a quiet city. It's not like going. It's not a lot going on. It's instead of like me being up here at Howard, where like behind my dorm was a strip of like was this not a downtown-ish nightlife street just full of clubs, bars. I mean, things to do. It was always just something to do in the city, and like I feel like Athens doesn't have too much of that until there's football season around. But
All right.
yeah, but I learned to like it. Like I like how like quiet Athens is. It can be, and then how lively it can be during like football season because that's honestly fun. Like I was actually kind of mad. I'm up in DC right now. I'm not thinking about to leave soon, but I had a bet the day Howard had their like big battle at the Burn meet this
Battle of
weekend.
the Burns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I was just about to ask you about that.
Yeah, yeah. So I came up there. It went good. Um, But then at the same time, I'm missing Georgia's homecoming. They played Auburn yesterday, and I was like, dang, that would have been a good game to watch. But it is what it is.
Yeah, so I was literally about to ask you about that Battle of the Burns too, because I've been seeing it all over social media. Like, are y'all like, are the meets over there like always that packed, or is it just because like those high profile names pulled up?
No, it's pretty packed. Like I mean, for the most
That's
part,
insane.
it won't be as packed as Battle of the Bird. Like it probably won't be as lively and as crazy as Battle of the Bird is. But it do be pretty packed because like the swim team has like one thing I'll give Coach Nick and the Howard swim team is that they have like made a an event out of like their dual meets. And so like when people come to their dual meets, like that's a standard. Like they always have a DJ at their meets. They always have some type of little like they have some type of involvement for the audience at those meets because it's like it's a small pool. So like you'll the audience feels more I feel like connected to the what's happening because like the deck's just right there. Like yeah, they're in the
Yeah.
stand. The deck is honestly just like you can near you could reach down and probably touch somebody's hand. Like so uh, they do a good job at that, and then just bringing like different things to make the dual meets different. They had a couple people on the team were on a Caribbean dance team because they're from the Caribbean and stuff like that, and so they had the dance team like while of course not the people on the team were doing it, but they had the dance team come perform like during one of the breaks, well, like after diving finished, just to like give the audience something to watch, and then they like find little ways to bring the audience into the meet and make it like and make them feel a part of what's going on, even if they don't understand swimming. So like
All right.
yeah, like the dual meets not probably as big as Belt all the time, but they do be pretty big. Like they make an event out of it.
Yeah, that's insane. I was gonna say, I feel like there's a lot of teams out there
Mhm.
that can take notes
Yeah,
on how Howard does things, even if it's not the same culturally. They can definitely take notes
yeah,
because I'll say here one of the biggest issues we always have is bringing more people besides the parents of the swimmers, and just like maybe close friends, having actual spectators that may or may not know swimming, like how it is at Howard.
mhm,
Uh, I mean, that's the thing that drives it. That's what we want to see. We want more than just parents in there supporting our teams. And
mhm,
like this is over and over and over again. I see you guys just like, or at least Howard succeeding in that, and I'm just like, damn, what are, what are these top end programs at dual meets not doing that these mid programs are like just thriving on to get people in. Um, so yeah, I may have to reach out to you after this to talk to you and be like, hey coach, you need
mhm.
to do this. We
Yeah.
gonna get some people in this door, man. We gonna get some people in this door.
Mhm,
Um, but I was gonna say, I literally was gonna bring something up. Oh, practice environment. Because
mhm.
I know you had the different training, but is would you say there's a difference in the practice training or the like environment? Um,
Mhm.
because I know like for I don't have the experience of have HBCU, but my closest is high school versus collegiate. High school, it was very much people just did it to did it. They didn't have like a high enthusiasm of swimming versus
Mhm.
now, I mean, college, people are doing this because they want to do this. We support each other. We get each other through the practices. We hype each other up. Um, was it the same? Is it like the same at PWI versus HBCU? Did you see a lot more people at Georgia wanting it more? So you saw a lot more faster stuff. Was it? Did you even see a difference at all?
I saw a very huge difference. I mean, like before I say that, I love Howard and I really like appreciate what the school did for me and like what it's doing for the
Of
culture.
course.
But my biggest difference is what I saw. It was what you kind of said. It was a mindset. I mean, it's an HBCU. You can get caught up in the life, like the going out on the weekends, the little events on the yard, the distractions and stuff during like you can get caught up. It's and it's not like a bad thing. Like it's what HBCUs are for. So But
Right.
when it comes to swimming, like swimming's a grind, and it's yeah, bless you. Like swimming's a grind, but like things aren't like there's gonna be times where swimming's just not gonna be fun. I mean, your all your friends are leaving, they're going back home, or they're doing stuff during like Christmas or Christmas break, and you're up in DC at a cold, like walking in 30-degree weather to the pool. Like, it's not like a fun thing. And just like how you said, like, a lot of people kind of, I don't want to say like people like specifically, but like, some people just do it because like, they wanted to swim and they wanted to go to a HBCU. So, they were able to get to Howard. And so like some of their motivations is like different from other people on the teams. While at Georgia, I did see a big difference because like you got, like a lot of people I transferred in with, I knew them because I'm from Georgia. So like grew up swimming against them. But like, especially when I got there and I started to really get to know them, I realized like, yeah, like, they kind of wanted a bit more. Like, I mean, some of them are on the national team. They have to like keep a certain standard to stay on the national team. Some of them were podium at NCs like since they were freshmen, and like they have to keep a certain standard to be there again because there's more people at NCs now, and NCs is way more competitive than it used to be. So, it's like it was a different mindset, and I feel like that mindset helped me a lot this past season, especially going into trials and even like staying to swim because it's like, I mean, I'm seeing what it takes, to be on that next level, and I feel like that's the difference in practice environment. You still have people behind each other, like trying to get people to get through the sets and this, that, and the third. But then you always have those people. I see this on both teams, but you always have those people who, are there because they were able to be here and they just want to be at the school and swim. But I just feel like I did see a bigger change in mindset, especially going to Georgia for my 5th year than I did at Howard. Especially my last 2 years there. Hmm.
Totally.
Hmm.
Yeah, I love that mindset piece.
Yeah.
A big thing that I like to say is always iron sharpens iron.
Hmm.
People you hang around is who you become. Um, that mindset piece, especially going into trials,
Hmm.
because you made trials both at Howard and um, Georgia, but you kind of had that veteran status going into 2024's.
Hmm.
Um, just kind of want because that was my first trial, so
Right.
I was kind of learning the ropes and stuff like that. Being able to go to that first trials, how did that set you up for 24 as to prepare for what you were about to do, what you were like expected to do and stuff?
Well, like I mean, the first trial I went to wave one. So to me, even when I was there when it happened, like I liked the experience. Like the experience was surreal, but I even knew while I was there. I was like, this isn't the real thing. So I'm like, I mean, it still gave me the experience like I knew I was going to go into, and especially that year at Georgia, I was like, okay, like I'm seeing the people I'm going to see at trials. So, uh, I mean, that first trials it like gave me like okay, like I'm able to get here because I knew I was going to make it in 2024. Like I knew I was going to be able to get the cut. Regardless of what it was, like I think they dropped the cut from a 3-1 to a 2-7, and I was like I could go
Mhm.
2-7. So I was like I knew I was going to go, but but I think going there just showed me like, yeah, like what I just said is just I could be in this space. So when I got to my 5th year at Georgia, my main goal was just to train and be ready for trials. So and like SEC being one of the most prominent conferences with like with like more prominent conferences with the better like the more caliber swimmers that be at trials and like or be finaling at NCs and being on the national team and things like that, like it kind of that also set me up. So like having that background for the first trials and then going into 5th year at Georgia, being around people who I mean, I don't know. A lot of them, I want to say their first trials might have been in 2021, same as me, but I was at wave one. A lot of them were at wave two. So like being around them and talking to them is like okay, like we're all even though we were at different spaces, we all had that first trials experience. So like now we're like we could like relate and talk to about what things we need to do and things how to set things up. So and like I also think the first trials The first trials I honestly went because I mean it was publicity. Like I made it like a month or two out before I was supposed to go. Um, I mean Howard was big, like going crazy about it. I mean I was going crazy about it. My club team was going crazy about it. So I was just like, I was just taking it all in, like just accepting the fruits of the labor, the awards I got and the um, all the publicity I was getting. So I just kind of went there for that. But then I knew the second trials I mean I was gonna have a little bit of it, but not as much as I did when I first make it. So like I was able to get that out during the first trials and able to more focus on the race during the second trials. I mean it was fun. So I feel like that's how the first trials kind of prepared me.
Totally. I was gonna say because I was gonna say saw you on deck and you seemed very relaxed, very chill.
Oh yeah.
Like I hate to say it, but that veteran mindset, like he's like, I've been here before, I've been here again, I know what to
Yeah.
do. Like, and that's kind of what I was trying to do, but at the same time, it's like
Yeah.
you're in a football stadium swimming
Oh yeah, I mean,
with
no, I ain't never
about
did that before. I ain't do that, but yeah, that was
I never did like 17,000 people at one time watching you, actually more. Just it's surreal. Like there's
yeah,
nothing that's ever been like that before in I think the history of swimming. Just
yeah. And I
so
also mean like too, like it's funny and weird because like I think after that I went to trials and that same year I went to Speedo Nats in Greensboro, and then I think after that my next big meet was it was like 2 years after that, but my next big meet was team trials in Indianapolis.
Indianapolis.
Yeah, before
Yeah.
like yeah, we were at Indianapolis like 3 times, and then I went into Indianapolis, and then I had that year at Georgia, and then NC's. So I feel like I mean I did have like a couple of meets behind me where I knew like I knew how to go in. Like I actually like I set it up like I think I bought the earliest flight I could get so I could like be in my I could be in my hotel at the earliest time. I could like go there, get the amenities, take everything in. See all my friends and stuff who are on other teams, and then I spent the whole day doing that, just having fun, taking it all in, and then the next 2 days was like, okay, we come here, I practice, I come here, I do my practice with Mike, and then uh, I go eat, recover, do the same thing the next day, and then the next day was the race. So like it was just like you kind of planned it out because you've been going to meets like that. When you go to meets like that for a while, and especially when you're just swimming like the 50 or the 100 or even just the 50, like you kind of know how to like set up your days to be ready to race.
Totally.
Hmm.
Totally. I like that. I like that a lot.
Hmm.
Um, trying to be like that eventually. Well, I'm progressing there, but we'll see there.
Yeah.
Um, so switch it up.
Hmm.
We talked a lot about, just like what we do as sprinters, like your environment as culture, which I love, like how
Hmm.
you describe HBC. A lot of people have been telling me to go to Howard just to even experience it. May have to do it one day. So if you're watching this, Howard, I may be there eventually. No promises when though.
Hmm.
Um, but kind of just like, back to the basics, back to your roots. What got you into swimming in the first place?
I don't even know. Like, I mean, I started swimming competitive. I believe somebody asked me this yesterday. I was when they were interviewing me about the bird, but I was like, I mean, it was like just little mommy me classes. I mean, swim lessons, and then like it's just the feeding system. Like, okay, I had the swim lessons. Why not try summer league swimming for a bit? I really don't even remember summer league, but I think I started competitive swimming when I was like 6, on the City of Atlanta Dolphins in Atlanta, and I kind of just stuck with it. I mean, I wasn't that good for real until I was like 15, 16 when I actually started putting up like decent times, and I started taking it a little bit more seriously. But there was like, I mean, there was kind of on again, off again, just doing the sport from like 6 to 14. Then when I started taking it seriously, I mean, when I started really coming up. I mean, my club coach, he has a big influence of, his name's Tommy Jackson. He has a big influence of what I've done in my career and where I am now. I mean, he's the one who told me to go to Howard, and he's also the one who told me to go to UGA. So, he's a big influence of what I've been doing in my career, and just always keep my head straight. He's a real old school coach, So like, he's like, we do the work now, we'll celebrate later. Like every time here we're working, and we always keep me on a like straight mindset, and I appreciate him for everything he's done. So I guess like that's the answer to your question. It was really just my club coach, honestly.
Totally. I was gonna say, so have you always been with that Coach Jackson?
Yeah. I still be going back to him
I was
every
gonna
now and
say,
then. Probably not as much now that I'm with Georgia, because I mean,
yeah.
kind of another downfall with Howard. They don't really have like a summer like club team or like a summer like team to have. Well, when I was here, I don't know what they have now. I think they have something like that now, but
Right.
when I was there, they didn't really have anybody I could stay and train with, because I would have honestly, but I just didn't like have the means or the accessibility. I mean, at Georgia, they were able to you could stay in your dorm during the summer. I mean, I didn't have to.
Oh,
I had a team to practice with, so I mean, yeah. In recent years, like going into trials, yeah, I didn't really go back with him, but yeah, he's through undergrad, I always came back and trained with him during the summer or during winter breaks and things like that. And he's still, still has been a big part of my journey, even in undergrad.
okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Give it up for Coach Jackson right there. I was gonna say, 'cause you gave me a little bit of a culture shock with that saying that you were on a basically all black swim team because I'm Kansas. I
Uh,
grew up as yeah,
yeah, I don't know about Kansas, man.
um the Kansas. Let me just tell you right now, I was basically the population of black swimmers in Kansas. There was definitely a lot more, but on a platform of going into, you know, I'm don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure I was the first African American to win a state title, or at least been
Mm-hmm.
in 6A swimming in Kansas. Definitely the first time before Pete in the 50 free.
Mm,
And I'm pretty sure the first one to commit and go to a Power Five Division One school. So for me growing up, I was always like it was like just me. And then there was like as I grew up, I started seeing more population
mm-hmm.
in my community. But then you come over here to Atlanta. In my mind, I'm thinking, oh, it's ATL. There's gonna be hella people thinking like, what's this dude swimming? Like,
I mean, oh yeah, no, no,
get
no.
your butt in the court.
Yeah, no. I got that a
Yeah.
lot. Right? Like, bro, every time I go somewhere, they think either basketball or track, and I'm like, I don't even.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
I'm gonna
like,
say,
nah.
cause did you do basketball or track or anything like that?
I mean, I mainly swam. Like I did like other sports on the side. Like I played tennis a little bit. I learned how to play
Okay.
golf. But I wasn't doing any like real like I wasn't doing like competing in those things. It was just more like camps and things like you would do it like just to say like, oh, I know how to play tennis and I know how to play golf, but like I don't know how to. I didn't really compete in those sports.
Yeah. I was gonna say I was dual sport track and swim whole life until I came here. Like I think yeah, basically freshman year was my first year only swimming. Any other time I was always doing another sport throughout high school. But yeah, I grew up all the time. I was like 6 foot in sixth grade. I
Uh,
finished high school like 6'3", 6'4". So
mhm.
they're always like, you wasting God given talent right here. I said that to Dax Hill because he's 6'8", 6'9".
That's
So
crazy.
we both have always got that. Why ain't you in the court? You should be dunking on fools. And I'm just like, come to the pool and I'll prove you otherwise.
Yeah.
Uh, but nah, man, that's an experience I wish I could have seen. Like just an all black. There actually, I take that back. There used to be an all black swim team in Kansas City,
Hmm.
but they disbanded. Oh, I want to say, someone told me the date. I want to say like 2009. So I
Hmm.
would have been like 6. And I didn't start swimming until I was like 10.
Okay.
So I like missed the cutoff, I guess. But I mean, they're still like 3 hours away from me, so I wouldn't have been able to even
Hmm.
like practice with them. But even to race a team
Yeah.
like that would have been sensational to me. Um, but no, that's really cool that there's a team like that out there in ATL.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to pull up one of these times I'm in ATL and see what it's all about.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. So like kind of Dang, I'm actually blanking on what I was gonna say.
You good?
Um, dang. Um, so just the environment. Yeah, there we go. The environment. So you said you got a lot of that ATL stuff like, oh, you should have been hooping, you should have been that.
Yeah.
Um, I know you probably don't have a lot of this, especially since you were at an all black
Mhm.
swim team for most of your life. Did you ever have some of those stereotypical stuff of this black dude shouldn't be swimming within your own like or like swimmers that you've competed against kind of like discriminate you that like I guess it would be like swim meets and stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, again, yeah, that's where I'm the different. Like, I didn't really have that. Like, I think, I mean, there's times where I will walk into a place and like they'll be like, "Hey, yeah, like the gym's here or like the basketball court's here," and I'm like, "No, I'm here." I like, or like I remember a time I walked into Tech for a swim meet, and like if anybody who swims in Georgia knows that every swim meet possible is at Tech. Like, it could be an
Uh,
age group. It could be like the slowest age group meet to junior nationals. Like every swim meet's at Tech. So I was in there again for an age group meet, and they were like, "Yeah, like the basketball court this way is like you're going the wrong way," and I was like, "Nah, I'm here for the swim meet," and like, is that like, yeah, I'll have little like stereotypical things like happen, but it wouldn't be like, again, like that's what I guess where I'm the different. Like, it wouldn't be anything crazy. They wouldn't like full on, disrespect or discriminate like what I did. I remember this one time. I guess I walked into the gym like to work out, but like again, I'm a swimmer, but I am here to work out. I think my friend was coming with me, and he doesn't swim, but we were like doing the same workout, and he like I think something wrong happened with my guest pass, and they thought I was trying to sneak him in, and I'm like, and there he was like, "Yo, like yeah, like you guys like can't just come in here trying to use the basketball court," and it's funny because I was like we come up here all the time, like actually doing like you know full 2 hour workouts, not know like high school people come to the gym. Like we have a program, like we know what we're doing. And yeah, I mean that was probably the two distinct things I would remember, but there's nothing like anything that like I guess hit me. I mean, I guess you probably have a story or two coming from Kansas.
oh yeah, I definitely have stories from Kansas. I was gonna say I remember there was one time I think I was like 13. Um, I don't even remember what the conversation was, but I had my headphones on, and all of a sudden I didn't. I turned around, and some couple of the fools on my team were just acting stupid, and I was just like, I started getting mad a little bit or annoyed, and one of the teammates goes, "Oh, don't get Drake. Don't. Oh, what did he say? He was like, oh, don't let Dre go black on you." I'm like, what do you mean by that? Like that just made me put on my headphones before I crashed out because I was just like, what? But nah, man. I mean, um, I've had kids like try to play with me, even about like some stuff, dumb stuff about like the N word. Like they
Mhm.
always like, can I like you my buddy? Like, can I say? I'm like, what makes you think that you have the right to say
Yeah,
that is the biggest thing. Like just because we friends, because you a friend, you should know like you shouldn't be asking that. So um that those are kind of the biggest things that I've had. I've definitely had parents look at me growing up, kind of eyeballing me like, why is this kid here? But I feel like I was one of those that
yeah,
actions speak louder than words. Yeah, I
yeah,
was big on actions speak louder than words. Uh, so when I would hit the wall and they would come at me with all the smiles and say, "Oh, good stuff," I was like, "Yeah, I still remember how you were looking before I was racing." So
yeah. Crazy, right? Mhm.
yeah, for sure. I was gonna say, because I know Coach Mike. Well, Coach Mike wanted me to go to Georgia Tech when I was in recruiting, but then he went to Georgia.
Mhm.
Was he a big? He was a big factor, I'm assuming, for you to go to Georgia too, besides Coach Jackson.
Funny enough, no, he didn't transfer until after I. Well, he didn't get the job until after I committed. So like
Oh, okay.
my big thing was like, I mean, I ain't finna find no other school like Howard. So like, I mean, yeah, I mean, I knew you and Zarek were at Bama. I knew Julian who was at Florida. Um,
Yeah.
I knew I somewhat. I mean, I know Crooks, but like I knew at the time
Yeah.
I had some people who knew Crooks, and I was like I could go to Tennessee with Crooks. So I was like literally just picking the people. I was like, I mean, there'll be like some type of black like person on the team I could talk to. And then there was Reese at Georgia, so I was like, okay,
Reese. Yep.
yeah. And so, but Georgia was just like, okay, like, yeah, I know the people. I know the people here. Like we grew up racing together. Like I don't know them, but I mean, we know of each other. Like we've been racing since age group, so it's like, okay, I could go here. And then there was Reese, and I had some friends from Atlanta who went to UGA, so I'm like, okay, like this will work. And then there was Coach Jackson, who is like my Coach Jackson and the old head coach Jack Barley, like they like pretty close. Like they uh, came up in swimming around the same time, and so they so he was like a big thing. I remember he called me the day of actually and like had an hour. He had an hour conversation with me after having almost an hour and a half conversation with Jack about like him going to Georgia. So it was just that was the biggest thing about me going to Georgia. And then after I was there, I found out that he went to that Mike was coming. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool too, because I knew who Mike was. Me,
Yeah.
Mike had a club team in Georgia, and a lot of my friends were on it. So I always knew of Mike. So it was pretty cool that he was there too.
Yeah, I'm sure. I was gonna say because Mike's one of the first black coaches that I've ever talked to, or at least collegiately wise.
Hmm.
And I know he's a good sense of character, and so is Reese. So once I heard you were going to UGA, I mean, I was a little heartbroken that you didn't want to come to Bama or none, but I knew that Georgia had to be in a good spot for like all three of you guys to be there for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but no, don't want to take too much more of your time. Just have like one or two more questions.
Okay.
Biggest thing I always like to finish off with. One of them is, we always talk about role models. A lot of people I've asked say that you were a role model to them.
Hmm.
So who's the role model of a role model?
Uh,
Who's the role model of Miles?
I don't know if you know, but his name is this is more from age group than anything, but his name's Sabir Muhammad. Um,
Sounds familiar.
yeah, like he's one of those like he was on Team USA. He had the U.S. Open record a while ago, but he was my club coach's like star swimmer back when he was like my club coach is like 70 years old, so like he's old, but like he was his like star swimmer. He went to Stanford and uh, he was the like his first like my coach is like real standout breakout swimmer and the one like he came and it was just like straight hard work like doing like there's a lot of days I was at practice by myself just racing the clock when I was in high school, and he used to always tell me like, yeah, like Sabir used to do this too, or like he would tell me about certain things that Sabir used to do, and like how he used to come and go about practice, and then I end up not meeting, but like I always see Sabir, but when I started getting faster and I was like actually talking and meeting with Sabir a lot more, just because he would not come by the pool or like just be in Atlanta at some point, and I would talk to him about it, of course. And he was probably a big motivator because it just showed me like, oh, okay, like first being on this like black club team, and he's telling me about this standout black swimmer who was on the national team, who he went to Stanford, did pretty really good things at Stanford, had the U.S. Open record in 100. He went to trials, I think, 3 times. I want to say. It was in the early like I think his last one was in like the early 2000s, but he was going like 48 and 100. I think he semifinals. He semifinal one year, but he didn't make the team. He didn't make the Olympic the trials final. But yeah, he was a big motivator because it just showed me like there's people like me, like it's just me, my coach, and the clock, and like he was able to get there, so I could do it too. And I mean, I'm here now, so it just shows like they're like there's people out there like that. Like when it's like sometimes it has to be you and it's just hard work, but like the benefits come from that hard work.
Yeah, totally. I love that.
Hmm.
Um, I'm actually happy that it was severe that you said because a lot of people always say high profile names. Like
Yeah,
you always think, oh, Simone Manuel, Colin Jones, and whatnot, which they are very, very successful and very good role models and motivators. But I always love the people that use someone close in their life because that's truly who like is your motivator. Like
yeah,
a lot of people like don't think about this, but like for me, although I don't say him a lot, it was my dad. My
mm,
dad was my role model for better or worse. I mean, I always saw what he did wrong and I wanted to do better. But at the same time, I saw the stuff that he did to prepare me to
Mm,
be the best me that I am. So although I always say my grandfathers were my role models because
yeah,
of their philosophies and stuff, he was also a real motivator for me to wake up every single day and do the best I could. So
yeah.
I really love those stories like that. Um, yeah, man. Really, only thing I have left for you is, you know, as a role model, a lot of people will listen to you, want to hear tips from you. What tips would you give the younger generation to do
Mhm.
themselves better?
I mean, especially in swimming world, like this, it's a grind. Like if you want it, you won't take an excuse. Like I feel like I
Mm,
see that a lot of that. Like I hear a lot, like a lot of people used to come up to me and talking about what things they want to do and like times they want to go and the the thing they want to achieve, but then it's like like it's just talk. Like if you really want it, you wouldn't. If you really want it, you say you want these things. Don't take like any excuses for it. Like I mean, I'll tell a story. Like there was during COVID, Howard University canceled the swim season, and funny enough, during COVID is when I made Olympic trials. But there's plenty of times during COVID where like I couldn't get to a pool, like I couldn't swim, or something happened that was not going to allow me to swim, and I still found a way to get to the pool that day. So if you want it, you'll make time for it.
for sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
Gonna say there's two
Yeah,
things that you can do: make excuses or find another way. So I love
yeah.
that. But yeah, man. Um, that's pretty much everything I have for you. You have any questions for me?
I mean, shoot. When will this be up? Like, and what's this podcast like?
uh,
What's the little series for?
so the main thing is Froz-Øne. I mean, of course, it's like foreplay on my nickname. I grew up because I was one of the only black kids in Kansas swimming. And I used to wear I still do blue tinted goggles, and my high school team was blue, so they nicknamed me Frozone. So it's kind of word play on that.
Mhm,
So essentially, what this podcast is for is to have not high profile, but
mhm,
people that others look up to within diversity and intersectionality, and just have them have a one-on-one, or sometimes I'll I'll have more than one person on here, and we'll just have a talk, just talking
mhm.
about real world stuff,
Yeah,
things that we've gone through in our experiences as swimmers and how we've persevered to be where we are. And then for the other question, I'd say probably a week. So we're recording this on October 6th. So expect this maybe within the next week or so. I was gonna say I'll definitely let you know
mhm.
when it's gonna go live. I'll text you and stuff like that. But no, that's really the main reason of Froz-Øne podcast. It's just hear from people that a lot of people want to hear from in the diversity and intersectionality realm.
Okay, okay.
So,
Makes sense. That's cool. All right, bro.
yeah.
Appreciate it. Always glad to speak. Help out.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad that you could come on here for a nice little hour or so and talk. So, all right. Well, that's all I got for you. So, end this recording real quick. Um, people watching, thank you for watching and stay tuned for the next podcast. Peace out.